All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the CoachSpiration series. Here with Coach Jordan Phillips
Hello.
with PFP, guys. I'm excited because, as you know, in this series, we want to inspire and encourage coaches out there and teachers and basically anyone that works with kids. It's a hard job sometimes, and we need encouragement from time to time. And so, Coach Jordan has his own story about how he got into coaching. I'm excited for him to share that with you to encourage you guys. And PFP family, if you're a member of PFP, this will be very fun for you to get to know Jordan a little bit better. He does tell people what to do, sets and reps all day long, and you might not like him very much because of that. But he actually, it's really cool to hear his story, and I'm going to learn a lot today as well. So
100%.
thanks for being part of the PFP
Of
family.
course.
To start, the first question is, how did you find coaching as a profession? How did you stumble upon it? Did you study exercise science in college? What was your path?
Yeah. So kind of the path was I started at Messiah where I went to school, and I did biology and exercise science, right? So I
Yep.
kind of had a dual major thing going.
And when did you graduate from Messiah?
When? Last May. So I
May.
graduated last May and started working here a week later,
Cool.
right? So it was a
Yeah.
pretty quick turnaround, right? But yeah, how did I get started, right? So I did an internship at Messiah working with what we call PrEP, which is
Okay.
Preventative and Rehabilitative Exercise Program.
Nice.
Right, so I was working with mainly older adults coming out of like rehab programs or like PT.
Okay.
Right, so they
I
would
didn't know
come
that
to
about
us after that, and we would do very similar to what we do here, like personalized coaching experiences. Right, we'd make them a program,
you.
and
So
then
it's
we would,
post rehab.
yes,
Post rehab. Okay.
post
Cool.
rehab,
Yeah.
post physical therapy. Right, so we saw a lot of different like not skill levels, but a lot of ability levels.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I got a lot of good experience with that. And then how I stumbled upon PFP was it was just a complete blessing. Right? I didn't know what I was going to do. I was in between whether I was going to go to medical school or not, because that's what I went to college for primarily.
Yeah.
And then I got connected with PFP, um, just based off of pretty much a Google search.
Google search.
Yeah,
Nice.
much.
Thank you, Google, for us, Jordan,
Yes, Google.
Coach Jordan. Okay, let's rewind before
Yeah.
Messiah. What made you want to even get into that field of studying exercise science and become a coach?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved sports. Like my favorite part, I love baseball. Baseball is my favorite sport,
Okay.
and I love just like
Who's your
all
favorite baseball team?
the Orioles.
Of course.
Easy.
Of course.
I just love all like the intricacies of like how baseball, how it's such a big like mental game, and how like there's so many like physical. There's just it's fascinating to me like how you can train a baseball player mentally, physically.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I coached middle school basketball with my dad while I was in high school. Right,
Okay.
so that was another thing that kind of steered me towards like the athletics field.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's how I got into exercise science as my major.
What did you play sports-wise growing up?
So I played basketball, soccer, and lacrosse.
Okay.
In high school, I played lacrosse and basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, while I was there.
Were those two equal for you, or did you gravitate more towards one or the other?
I always gravitated more towards basketball, but lacrosse has ended up where I found more success.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I had a couple position changes in college or in high school.
Yeah.
That my coaches were like saw something in me, and that helped me kind of like level up as a lacrosse player. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So your coaches saw something in you and helped you level up as a lacrosse player and made you, I guess, like that more, maybe even more than basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so did that play into your desire and passion to coach at all, or did you have any other coaches in your past that sparked that? Because most of the time, when a coach becomes a coach and you're such a passionate coach, usually you can look back in their history and find those mentors, those coaches that saw something in them, that believed in them. So what was that like for you?
Yeah, so I'd say I've kind of had both. Like I've had part of the reason why I am so passionate about this is bad experiences, but also good. Like in my JV basketball coach was one that really like instilled like a lot of like hardworking and those sort of beliefs in me.
Yeah.
But then like in lacrosse, like growing up, I had some coaches that they were not the most kind with their words.
Okay.
They made it challenging to want to be an athlete. So I'm passionate about coaching because I want to provide a better experience for those kids and not be like one of those negative coaches, like the ones that you like compare to like a drill sergeant, right? I don't want to be like one of those
command and control.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. What let's shift gears a little bit. Growing up wise, where did you grow up? Brothers, sisters?
Yeah. So I grew up in Eldersburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right where the other location is. And then I have
PFT Eldersburg, but Coach
in
Jordan
Frederick.
works in
Yeah,
Frederick. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then I have one sister who is older than me. I think she's 14 years older.
Okay.
So it was I kind of had like the only child sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I had a sister. She was growing like we lived in the same house growing up, but
Yeah.
like as far as like anybody close to my age, no, it was just me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So sports were important to you growing up.
yeah,
You
hundred
had
percent.
some key coaches. That doesn't always mean that like fitness and exercise science
Yeah,
becomes the destination. There's a lot of ways you can go with sports.
yeah,
So what was it that made you want to pursue fitness and exercise science as a major and then a career?
yeah, yeah. That's a good question.
You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring that
So
out.
yeah, yeah. So it kind of started with that internship, right? So I had those classes. I was pretty set on going into
Yeah.
PA school or med school. And it wasn't until my senior year, so it was like crunch time, where
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was doing. I got that internship, and to I was able to help people like how I would as if I was a doctor or a physician assistant. I was able to help people, and it was kind of something that I already felt like I had a good bit of experience in, like lifting and stuff for sports and all that.
Yeah.
And then that internship kind of like opened up my eyes to like the fact that this could be a career rather than just like
Hmm.
a hobby
Yep.
or something that I just know stuff about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So you just came off of literally like 5 minutes ago coaching 10 kids between the ages of 8 and 11 years old.
Correct. Yeah.
Just madness.
Yeah. 100%.
You coach different groups of adults who I know that there are adults from the 5:45 a.m. crew
Yeah.
on throughout the day. You coach adults that love you, that adore you, that think you're such a great coach. And then you even have the high school athletes, the 12 plus year olds
Yeah.
athlete range. You're working with everybody.
Yeah.
Is there a group that you found really gravitates that you gravitate towards most, or maybe a better question is, um, what specifically have you found yourself really like? What is your biggest passion inside those sessions? Like, what do you really love to do most? There's some coaches that love to like help people get out of pain. Some coaches,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I want to really help athletes get stronger and faster.
Yeah.
Is there something that you've really found yourself like I am meant to do this?
Yeah. So kind of like rewinding, we were asking about like the people that I gravitate
Yeah,
towards.
yeah.
A lot of coaches here make the joke that I'm like the middle school boy coach. So it's like I get a lot of middle schoolers,
A lot of
especially
middle
like in the
schoolers.
evening.
Okay.
Which that's what I started like coaching basketball. Like I was coaching middle school
Yeah.
boys like seventh and eighth grade.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so like I see a lot of those kids,
Yeah.
right, and that's such an important like developmental age.
Yeah.
When we talk about like all like the like adolescence and like all like the mental stuff that goes along like with that.
Yeah.
That's something that I really enjoy. I think I connect well with
Yeah.
those kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in terms of like something that I like help like people do, working with the adults, like the pain, right? Trying to get like better range of motion, right? You
Mm-hmm.
come a lot of people come in super tight, right? Doing a split squat, can't get their knee down to the ground, can't get below 90 degrees or can't get to 90 degrees on a squat,
Yep.
right? Being able to find ways for them to unlock that in them, right? They sometimes will come in like, oh, I've never been able to like get my knee down, or it's been 20 years since I've been able to get off the ground without using my hands. Being able to
Wow.
unlock like that mobility and giving
Uh-huh.
them that strength that they need, right? That just unlocks so much confidence in them to be able to like say like, oh, now I can play with
Life-changing.
my grandkids without having to worry about one of my kids being able to pull me up off the ground.
Life changing, man.
Yeah,
Dude, that's so good. Why do you think that middle school group you connect so well with?
yeah. I think it helps that I'm not. We're all young here as coaches, but
I
I'm
know,
like,
I'm very young.
yeah, yeah. I
I
think
was
what.
I was in middle school when you were born. Ah,
Yikes.
makes me feel so old. I was
Yeah,
almost in high school.
yeah,
Anyway, keep going.
yeah. But like, I'm still pretty involved. I know all like the stuff that like the younger kids like all like the brain rot terms that you're familiar with. I know
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that stuff. Like,
You know
so
the
I feel like
lingo.
I know the lingo. So I feel like
Parents out there, you're like, I don't know the lingo, right?
I
Like
know the lingo.
Jordan can teach you if you want
Yeah,
to set
I
up a
can.
time to talk to
Yeah.
him.
So it's just like being able to connect over those things. My fiance has two little brothers that are in the elementary to middle school range.
Yeah,
So that's like the people like the age that I've kind of just had the most
yeah.
connection with. Why? I don't know. It's just
It sounds like that's what God's led you towards
hundred
over
percent. Yeah.
your career so far. I mean, you
Yeah.
just started here 9 months ago.
May. Yeah. So
May, almost a year.
coming up on year.
Yep.
Yeah, which is
Yep.
kind of unbelievable for me.
Yeah. What have you learned about yourself since becoming a coach in this industry? It's been almost about 10 months. How have you grown the most as a person, as a coach? What do you feel like's changed?
Hmm. I feel like the thing that has grown the most is kind of just the belief like in myself. Like when
Hmm.
I'm talking about like how I've grown the most.
Yeah,
Um, different battles with like, self confidence, anxiety,
yeah,
right? Just like the feeling that like I have like purpose,
yeah,
right? That has come through like pretty heavy,
yeah,
like with this job. Like I was thinking like prior to this, right? This job, you have a lot of opportunities to give,
yeah,
and that's what I love about it,
yeah.
right? But also like being able to receive what it like gives me,
That's right.
right? So
Yep,
like I give a lot and you can give and you can burn yourself out.
yep.
But if you're not receiving the things from our guests, receiving like doing the things that I enjoy in my free time,
Hmm.
right? That's like I've grown a lot in those like receiving moments.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's so good. And you have to, right? Be
100%.
able
Yeah,
to,
if you don't let yourself receive, then you
mm,
cannot do this.
yeah,
You cannot. Yeah.
yeah. And that's where faith comes in such a heavy level,
Yeah.
right? Being able to receive
100%.
from God as
Yeah.
often as you can, which you're such a strong man of God, which is amazing. Um, all right, so that's a good segue into the last
Yeah.
question. Um, so we do these videos to hopefully encourage some coaches out there who are maybe
Mm-hmm.
burnt out, struggling. The feedback loop when working with
Yeah.
youth can be long, and so you don't
Yeah.
always see the fruit. So, what would you say, remind a coach of, or a teacher, or anyone that works in this field of serving youth? What would you say to them to encourage them in their journey?
Yeah. I would just say exactly kind of what I just said. Just receive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just like taking the time to have a conversation with a guest, right? Sometimes you'll never notice like a physical improvement, right? But if you're talking to them about their goals, right? Like I had a lady recently, like I didn't necessarily realize that like how drastic her range of motion has been, right? She was telling me that like I could barely bend like my knee, now I'm able to get down like full squat, full lunge. It's
Mm-hmm.
just having those conversations, letting them letting them give you the feedback. Like you
Yeah.
said, the feedback loop can be long, right?
Yep.
And it's kind of hard to see when you work with so many guests. It's hard
Yeah.
to see the improvements in each person, right? And just having that conversation, having that relationship with them, it's so rewarding, right? Because
Yeah.
they feel comfortable sharing things with you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're able to build that relationship, which helps you get through your day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it just yeah, it's nice to hear when people like say like, oh, I feel better and like thank you for
Yeah.
what you are doing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and that reminds me of what you said in the beginning when you were referring to your coaches that you had growing up, and you just
Yeah.
said something so small but and so quick that
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to miss it. It was
Yeah.
I had some coaches who believed in me or
Yeah.
who saw something in me
Yeah.
and
100%.
then
Yeah.
spurred you on, and so that would be my encouragement from what he just said is like,
Yeah.
I mean, Coach Jordan had a you, right, Coach? He had a you in his past 7, 8 years ago, whatever,
Yeah.
whenever it was that just said one small thing to him or gave him I don't know what it was that that coach gave you.
Yeah.
Maybe they just put you in the game when you didn't
Yeah.
believe in yourself, or they
Pretty much.
gave you a compliment, right? Just did
Yeah.
something like that, and that alone, man, transformed the
Mhm.
trajectory of his life, made him a coach. And so, coach, please today just do not forget that one small word of encouragement to an athlete, a pat on the back and a hey, I believe in you, can literally change the trajectory of their life, which creates
Yeah.
ripple effects in other people's lives. And I mean, you're just a change agent, coach. So thank you for being a change
Of course.
agent and for making the impact that you make.
Yeah.
And coach, we're here for you. We believe in you. Teacher, practitioner, therapist, whoever you are that works with youth, thank you for what you do. It makes a difference every day. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.
See you.